Welcome back to Legacy of Kain Defiance. I am recording this video on a new computer, so hopefully the video quality will be more crispy or crisp. Let it be crispy and crisp. However, the side effect of this, me using a new machine, is the fact that for whatever reason aerial combos don't work half the time. I have no idea why. Kain just falls onto the ground after one hit most of the time, this being a rare exception. Also, yes, it is totally possible to just run past these feral humans and use that jumping pad platform dot spot, but I decide not to do it, as if I will not have enough mandatory combat.
This history, in part, I knew already. How, as the vampires began to die out, the pillars summoned human guardians to fulfill their roles. It seemed the ancient vampires had adopted, and when necessary, abducted the human guardians and made vampires of them when they came of age, until the humans rebelled against their masters. And here, I made a surprising discovery. It was Mobius, the time streamer, and Mortanius, guardian of death, who led the bloody revolt. Now, I understood why Mobius hated me so intensely. I was the first vampire guardian in all these centuries, and he knew what my coming signified. Or perhaps I reminded him of all he had forsaken.
This, however, is only half of the truth, and because Kain does not know that Mobius is the servant of the big, overgrown, conniving cephalopod.
The orb that once opened this portal had been destroyed. To power it, I would need to find a substitute.
Well, let's just say that our search for the substitute is going to be unnecessarily convoluted. Instead of just coming to the closest portal and taking the orb, we will have to use the next portal, get into the Dark Forge, find a portal that doesn't work but does have a working orb, get that, and backtrack all the way here. So instead of just moving towards our direction, we will have to make a long circle. Just as long as me fighting the statue. But thankfully these guardian constructs, they will no longer come in pairs. From now on and until the end of the game, whenever we fight those, they will be soloed, which makes them infinitely easier than when there's two of them. In fact, I would say that the fights against these paired guardian constructs, these fire statues, are the hardest in the game. And yes, that includes the fire demons, which there also are fire demons in the game, like the big ones, the ones that were a pain to fight in Soul River 2. Yeah, they're here.
Earth globe.
And this is what happens when everything is mapped to the same key. Also, I like how this health talisman is just outside of your field of view, just outside of the camera, to be easily unnoticed. It's just right to troll the player. Also, it would actually be it would be rather frustrating if these gargoyles were just as lethal as they were, or as the sentry eyes are, I don't know, in Soul Reaver 2, because those just killed you on sight. Actually, is it were or is it are? Because, I mean, I want to say were because I played it before, and you probably watched it before. But at the same time, they are because the game, it's not gone, it's still there, so they still are in the game. But the game is old. But then again, doesn't matter, because if the game is old, then this is also worse, so everything I do here, I do in the past time. Although I am watching me... I think my brain is about to melt, I'm sorry. I will stop this right now and never think about it again. Do not jump across, not yet. Okay, now, those of you who have seen the thing know what I'm trying to do. The footage of the thing, of the dumb AI video, it is from a different run. So, full disclosure, I will fail. However, it will still result, like me trying to do this, will still result in an interesting effect. In two interesting effects, in fact. Okay, first, this is me holding the attack key. So this effect, the Reaver does this effect when you hold it for long. Sometimes, doesn't work always. And secondly, I fail completely to break the AI, make them walk at each other. Except the left statue broke in a different way. Like, completely different. I have no idea what's up with the left statue. But I do not mind. Dodging one slow attack is easier than dodging two slow attacks, which I fail at. Sometimes. The hit detection on these attacks is sometimes just weird. Okay, now this is why this level sucks ass. There are 4 exits opened. 4. Only one of them is the correct one. This one. And yeah, it's quite irritating, and is one of the reasons why this level is probably the second most aggravating one in the game after Vorador's Mansion. And Vorador's Mansion is actually it's actually harder to get lost in, because at least that one has well-defined landmarks, and it has doors that you open with different Reavers to show you where you are going, which one is which. Here, the environments are very similar, because all these elemental forges, they're essentially the same environment with a swapped, not even a swapped, with a slightly altered color palette. And where Raziel at least solves puzzles with his different Reavers, Kain just has a leisurely stroll through the entire thing, through the entire place, all the places. And it all just kind of melts together into a single gray mass, which becomes hard to navigate. Yeah, I don't like this. This is just bad level design. Oh, that took a while. It's not like Kain could just take that one orb from the portal that led him to the Dark Forge.
Sphere of energy.
Okay, so, luckily I still have something to fill the air with, and I will fill the air with my frustrations over the way the Steam version of Defiance works, or rather, doesn't work. Now, what I'm talking about is the fact that Defiance has cut content. Everybody knows that. Everybody also knows that most of that cut content, unlike cut content from Soul Reaver 1, doesn't have any traces in the game because it was cut out very early in development, early enough that there wasn't any actual programming, coding, designs done for it. However, some of it actually remained, and what I'm talking about right now is a room called Elder God 5A, which is a tutorial room for Raziel that was meant to be in the underworld, which was eventually cut out, but which still remains in the game because it was cut out late in development. So it remains in the game, and it would not be significant if it didn't have placeholder textures instead of, well, regular textures of the underworld, or the spectral realm. So it would be really interesting to look at it because it is playable, but the problem is it is playable in the retail version of Defiance. Retail as in physical CD version, not in the Steam version, because the Steam version apparently uses some encryption on the big file, which is the big file .dat file, which contains most of the game made on this engine, if you don't know. Yeah. So as a result, I will not be able to show that off. I just don't own a CD of this game, unfortunately. Well, maybe I do, but if I do, I have no idea where it is. That was probably the first time ever I've managed to interrupt an animation of this statue dying. How on earth did that even happen? No, no. Yes, good. Okay, now this jumping platform, this serves no purpose. Any at all. Yeah, I don't know why this. I assumed that there was supposed to be something in that other room that Kain jumped to, but that it was cut out, maybe, and then they forgot to cut the jumping platforms out. I don't know. They will be present there when we are here in the Earth Forge as Raziel too, and obviously Raziel will not be able to use them for anything. So yeah, they're just here for nothing. There is one other reason why, one other besides being easier, why fighting these statues is better than fighting fire statues. It's the sound. It's so much more satisfying than the sounds of you hitting the fire statues. Well, until your Reaver is fully charged, that is.
I was confronted again with depictions of the vampire's champion, the bearer of the Reaver blade. And here too was his Hilden adversary, with blazing eyes brandishing a flaming sword. Two heroes locked in combat which only one would survive. But which one? These murals prophesied two possible outcomes. I didn't know what Mobius was trying to concoct, but this all seemed too convenient.
Okay, first, the fact that you cannot get up here anymore, this should be your cue that you do not backtrack any further. I mean that you no longer backtrack from here on out. Unfortunately, in the end of the level, which comes half an hour later, it's really easy to forget about it, to overlook it, and in the end you follow your first instinct and you backtrack. And it sucks because it's just a waste of time and you get completely lost. And no, I actually haven't done that, but I've seen people do that. So I know that it happens. Second thing, this is not the correct way to go. This is me misremembering things, even though I played... This is my 4th run in a few weeks. Yeah. And finally, the cutscene that we just saw. It all seemed too convenient. Now, honestly, I have no idea what Kain is talking about there. What is convenient? For whom it is convenient? Is it convenient that the prophecy is what it is? Is it convenient that Kain is seeing this prophecy? Is it somehow convenient for Mobius or for the Elder God or whatever? Yeah, this is one of the... I am assuming that this is probably... to be honest, I have no idea what I'm assuming. This sounds like just a phrase written just to show contempt by Kain to everything, to all these prophecies and this garbage written in stone, because stones too can lie. Stones too can lie. Yeah, by the way, yes, I was just running around because I forgot the way. Yes. What the hell is up with that ceiling? All the elemental forges, they have weird ceilings. Well, that was cinematic. Ah, awesome. More of the goddamn shades. Okay, now this... No, not this. This is a dead end. I only come here to take a closer look at the weird ceiling. What the hell is up with it? Why? Yeah, what is that texture? Is it, what, leather with bones? Is it dirt with marks by tires? What? Yeah, and of course it's also dead end and it's just there to confuse you and to throw you off the track, which is already easy enough. Well, I suppose unlike Vorador's mansion, at least here we do not have to do any backtracking to get the items, get the collectibles. They are in the way, and the game shows us where they are exactly. Yeah, so that's easier, I guess. Which is probably why I have always managed to find all the health talismans for Kain, but never for Raziel. That is, until this Let's Play, because I have recorded the entire game, yay, and yes, I do find all the collectibles. Which was actually a point for me. I was constantly in fear of missing something and having to replay the respective parts of the game. So there is that. And these shades, they will be the... I'm sorry, these goddamn shades will be the last thing that we will destroy in this level. Well, not in this level, I'm sorry, in this forge, in this video. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.